when God ministers to us. So we are blessed for that. And so, people with disabilities, among many other people, are not the most strong and mighty people in different ways. But Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." Not the strong and mighty are going to inherit the earth. It's those who rely on Him, who are meek through Him, that are going to inherit the earth. And so he keeps going on, and so he says to us also, those who desire righteousness in our lives, those who desire to know more about God, to have a further relationship with God. He uses the expression, "You'll be fulfilled." That God will not turn your back on that person if you keep asking questions. At one point, I was not a Christian myself. I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but I kept asking questions. Throughout my life. And so then what happened was God answered my call. And He came to me and He said, "John, I'm the answer." And so He is the answer. And so He keeps going. And He says, and so He keeps going. And He talks about being pure in heart. He talks about being pure in heart. Now, that again is something that can only be done with the help of God, because not all, certainly not me. I'm not always that way. So, God wants each and every one of us to have a relationship with yourself, with Himself, and so He will help us. He will help us in a way that is. He will help us facilitate that relationship if we just call on His name. And so these are the Beatitudes are actually texts of inclusion. You're included this way. You're included that way. But the Beatitudes are also texts of enabling. And because He doesn't, because here's a pattern here where He's not only going back just beforehand, before the Sermon on the Mount, He says, not only did He heal people, but He put them in a position where they could heal, where they could minister to other people. And so so that was not only including people, that was also enabling people as well. And so so He goes on here, and He says, He tells us that we are the salt of the earth. And He tells us that here's a text of enabling that, and He talks about being lights of the world, and uses the illustration of a city that is on a hill. And certainly the way the landscape was back then, if a city was on a hill, it was highly visible. And so, as he said, a city that is on a hill cannot be hid. And so, he has chosen every one of us here in this room, and there are Christian brothers and sisters throughout the world. He has chosen to go down, he has chosen to spread his word in one way or another. It starts, he uses the analogy of salt, and he uses the analogy of salt, and how, and he says that we are the salt of the earth. And so that is a very powerful statement that he totally intends to use us, to take up, he meets us where we're at, he includes us, he enables us to move into another, into his purposes, into his ministry. He does. And so this is what God has. This is what God has said to us. And when He comes to each and every one of us,